Yo, morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project once again. This is a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project and so on and so forth. If you like a brief introduction and all that kind of jazz, a summary, this is actually a second of 2 live streams today, so you can just check out the previous live stream about maybe an hour ago, and you'll get the jazz, including the copyright-free music and the content, how we break it down to domains of life and everything. All that's summarized over there. We're just continuing off from the previous live stream an hour ago, and so this is what I would call this a SOV 3.0 or System Override version 3.0, and that means that we're just gonna skip across the entire introduction, which is the first of 11 segments per live stream typically. So that's that. Yeah, and we're gonna skip ahead also from the table of contents. We're gonna do a very shortened, abridged version of that too. So the entire phase 1 of live stream is kind of summarized by saying SOV 3.0, which is a System Override version 3.0. It's a kind of a makeshift formulation I'm using right now. So in phase 1, there's 3 different segments, right? Which is just kind of like the introduction, which I covered. Second is the table of contents. We're gonna breeze through that. And the third is disclaimers. I'm not even gonna touch the disclaimers. So table of contents, right? Like I said, 3 different phases. We're gonna have roughly the same structure as we did in the previous live stream because there's still some stuff that newly popped up that are in segments that I already covered in previous live stream, but there's still more content that came up in even the past hour as I just dropped by on Instagram, for example. There were new quotes from some of the pages. Aside from that, we also have obviously a continuation onto phase 2 and phase 3 of the live stream. So phase 2 being the digital content, informational visual stuff that you see on the screen right now, for instance. And then we have phase 3 items, which is, if I pull this down, you can see at the backdrop. So phase 3, my room's just kind of saying hi right there. We have a bunch of stuff that involves physical items inventory, and that's where the majority of today's second of 2 streams is going to be focused on. Okay, so let's get through it. The first thing I want to do is just say what is it, disclaimers, right? Be real, raw, and genuine. Cover the good, bad, and ugly. Second thing, it's the time capsule. The second thing is purposefully driven. It's a high utility stream. And the third and last thing on the disclaimers section, of course, was that as usual, we also treat life like a game. Life is a game, and this project mimics that. Okay, so segment 4, the directory was already covered. This is going to be a second live stream of today, so this is the only thing I'm going to add on to that. So I'm going to tack it on top of that. Move on to segment 5 very briefly. I did skip and I did miss something. So in addition to getting back to, I believe, one of my ex-colleagues who's a friend of mine, and then as well as the HR manager at my workplace, including a business partner also having with in a research company. And there was a fourth person, right? A fellow volunteer who became much like my godmother. I also had to get a conversation down between me and my brother, and also one other person, which is most importantly, what was it? Right, I have a volunteer service with a senior, so I still do some volunteer services for one of the long-term care centers. Sorry, I gotta slow down. There's a lot of stuff to get through. But basically, I had to do some service and just basically call him and his family, make sure they're doing all right. But actually, I just want to do that because he's actually a lot like my friend, a lot like my grandfather now. So that's that, and so that's relationships. So that's segment 4 and 5. Just kind of breeze through that. There's some things I missed. And some new additions, like I said, this stream. After that, segment 6, we definitely have a lot of new stuff there. So what you see at the very bottom right here, if I can just maximize in segment 6, here's a small collage of everything, right? So we have about maybe 2, so we have 3 different digital aspects over on Stoic Reflections on Instagram. Again, this is not my stuff, so copyright notice, not my stuff. I don't take ownership. Just go to Stoic Reflections, there you can find. This is what we call a memento mori calendar. I didn't realize that there was such a thing. I was actually trying to create something like this on my own using Excel spreadsheets, Microsoft Excel, but turns out that there's something like this already that exists, and it's basically an encapsulation of your entire life broken down by weeks so that you can properly sort of like manage your life meaningfully, happily, and successfully for the people that you care for as well as for yourself, and try to find a balance between not working too hard, but also making sure that you do accomplish what you want to accomplish and live your life without regrets, but also just satisfaction and happily, trying to live in the moment, but also to live in the moment and to enjoy your time and not take things too quickly, but also not to go too slowly and then miss out on a lot of opportunities. So that fine balance is what this whole calendar is all about. Obviously, Stoicism. What can I say about that? Just a big thank you to Stoic Reflections for having his kind of thing out there. It's his product though, not mine. And then we have stuff here over on University of Water Engineering. So over here we have, I believe, the professor, no, honorary recipient Chuck Magro. It says BASC, so Bachelor's Arts in Science in '93, Chem Eng. So I'm assuming he's a professor, and basically he's giving this sort of like, I guess, video and quote to this kind of speech towards the graduates, the people who are graduating for this year, I'm assuming. And I am an alumni myself, so there you have it. So that's that. I just want to showcase those two things. I think there's one more. This one's from Stoic Reflections. It crosses over onto School of Life because it says at the very bottom, the name is Alain de Botton. So interestingly enough, I follow both pages. School of Life London tends to be a more liberal approach to philosophy, and a more about like empathizing with people. And then obviously Stoic Reflections, that page focuses on more kind of disciplined and conservative approach. Both of them, you need to find good balance, so I follow both. But basically you can see that there's some crossover here because Stoic Reflections has kind of crossed over and quoted Alain de Botton himself. And so the greatest obstacle to living a meaningful life is the sense that one has plenty of time left. And again, debatable, right? Like I said, you got to interpret it properly. Make sure you don't take this overboard because you don't want to be rush completely all about productivity, which is you got to find the fine balance. But also you can tell that it's also important, very important, to make sure that you don't just waste your youth, waste your time, waste your life. And that can be done. A lot of people do actually, in fact, don't spend their time wisely and end up doing nothing, in fact sabotaging the lives of other people around them too. And so it's very important to make sure that you get this, don't take it too far, but also make sure that you do get what you should get out of this quote. That being said, all right, that was a lot of digital stuff for today. Second live stream. I didn't expect there to be this much stuff for the second live stream at all. Once again, just kind of popped up. What we really wanted to focus on in segment in phase 2 was this continuation of the grocery items that we have from yesterday, as well as some dead food items. So we have about 6 of these kind of collages here of photography. So I have about 120 photographs. So just kind of breeze through everything in the next maybe 4 minutes or so. So let's start off here. We can see at the very top, once again, scanned items or scanned documents. I'm just kind of point out their Calypso hairpins, right? And then we also have the rubber bands, also the security cameras. I covered this in previous live stream. We'll continue on. You can see my hands waving. Here are the products in physical format, right? By scan it all, I can upload it onto the laptop, and so on and so forth. And then at the very bottom right here, we have this kind of like cake. What's it? Cinnamon cake. Yeah, and that's something that I just basically gave to my guardians as well as my brother. Cut up portions, and once again, lots of photography here, and I showed some of this in the previous live stream. So also we have, once again, this is class 2 items. So that was class 1 and class 4 because I purchased myself and gave it away. Here is class 2 items. These are things that I received that I have to be grateful and thankful for. So this is from my domestic guardians. Once again, satay. So this is a traditional Vietnamese food cuisine, and you have this kind of curry, kind of spicy meatballs and so on and so forth, and some flat noodles and green onions and lime and so on and so forth. At the very bottom, you see also receipt. So that's a class 2 item, has some insecurities with it, but things are kind of working over as I've been able to repair the damage done to over the past 3 decades between this kind of blood related dynamic. Now we can move on. There's some receipts at the bottom. So things are getting better in terms of domestic relations. I've really done quite a number on that. I'm glad that I have been able to. Moving up, not all the credit is my own, obviously. And on top here we have also the stuff that we're moving on to grocery items, right? So we did a little recon. If you take a look in the title, it does say grocery recon continued. So once again, we went to like 4 or 5 different places yesterday. No, four different grocery supermarkets, so Shoppers, Walmart, so on and so forth. $50 worth of stuff, divide 22 items. So we'll continue off here. We see the receipts. Once again, we'll cover that in a second in physical format, but we have the glasses here for reading glasses. I was taking a look, scouting it out, didn't buy it, but it has the right style that I was looking forward to. If I ever get to see an optician and get me new glasses, that's what I was looking for. We also have here the hairpins, and once again, scouting them out so I can clip devices onto my chest, on my phone. We also have some stuff on sale. Looks like cookies, dark chocolate cookies, not good for you, but once again, it's just on sale. I purchased it. On the right hand side, we have some chips there, once again, also on sale. So it was like 2 for $5 or something like that. We move on. We have at the very bottom here, we have, once again, it continues on in Shoppers Drug Mart at the very bottom. You have like $2 each, or something like that, yeah. And then on the very right hand side, it seems like there are some watches which I wanted to take a photograph of just to see what they have. Kind of recon, I didn't buy it. And then at the very bottom, of course, are just more receipts once again, so I don't want to cover that. We'll show that in a second in physical format. Alright, now we're at the very top here. What do we have? Now we're at Walmart. So these are markers. Once again, I was looking for scissors, a pair of stainless steel, just plain stainless steel scissors, like a pair of barber shears, but I couldn't find it there. Instead, I found these kind of like markers. I thought it was kind of interesting to show that there's like metallic oriented Sharpie markers. Once again, this is some stuff that I wanted to give over to, gift over to some of my employees, some of the fellow staff and colleagues at my workplace before I resign. As part of a drop leg rig that I'm crafting for them. So it's like a DIY kind of thing project. Also, we have these cookies here, once again on sale. And I purchased one of these packages, but not from Walmart, for my brother. I'm going to give it to him later on today. And of course, on the left hand side here, it seems like I was scouting around in a shopping mall, and the pizza place had some new gourmet themed pizzas, so I just figured I would want to take a photograph of what they have new. So it was like a vegetarian kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so I think I have only about 2.5 minutes left. I don't really want to continue too much into photography, but okay, last receipts. There's 2 more. I think I'll save one for tomorrow morning. We don't have enough time on the stream. So here's some Cheez-It crackers, once again on sale at the very top for a 3rd week in a row. It was on for $2, and I bought like 4 of those packages of different varieties. One was like scorching chili, the other was like Italian herb and stuff like that. And just once again, not good for you, but just stuff that I am doing right now. It's not great for my health. And then the Oreo cookies on the bottom, like I said, is the one from No Frills that I purchased from my brother, and I'm gonna give it to him. And then on the snack foods on Indian side right here, Indian snack foods here are all too expensive. I didn't buy anything there. All right, great. Done all the photo recon except for this one thing, which I'm going to showcase tomorrow morning. Instead, we're going to skip that, and the rest of this stream is just segment 9. So segment 9, we have about 2 minutes left. Okay, continuing from the previous live stream, we really need to get through this. That's why I have a second stream today. So we left off by saying that we had to take out all the packaging, and we did. So we took out the bands, the rubber bands, and the hair clips, and put this in this package right here. So you can see they're kind of bundled together in some sort of low detail right now. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it over here. Hair clips and pins, and this is all garbage, same thing. So I put them all together, including the fan embroidery, and probably can toss this in fact in here and take it all to the trash, because that's gonna done too. Over here, back on the page, we have the chips here, which kind of I have to take off. It is inside this luggage bag, and you can see the sharp edges from the packaging here. Poked a hole, and then the whole thing here that I was supposed to use every week for grocery bags kind of got flooded with chips. Not flooded, but it got split up, so it's all greasy and oily. So I gotta clean that up somehow. And yeah, now back to the CCTV thing here. We have this kind of camera. It's a dummy camera. It's not real, like I said. I showed this in previous live stream. I scanned out the documents. I took it out. Now you can see that what's inside I want to showcase. I said that I want to flatten this and throw it away or recycle it, but it seems like it's a pretty good cartridge because I might not be using this camera anytime soon. But basically, it's not real, like I said. It's just a dummy. You have this nail on these nails and these things to stick against the wall, and then I want to showcase the bubble wrap, and inside has a CCTV sticker. So it's just like something to deter people from doing anything sketchy around you. And then we have this camera itself. So it's a black style version. What I'm going to do is say I don't really know, honestly, where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it to the side here for now. It's supposed to, I think I do know. I'm going to stick it inside either region A5 or region D4 in the bags over there. Now, most importantly, we have about 30 seconds left. What was really critical is, first of all, of course, this grease, I gotta throw it away. So is this garbage right here, I gotta throw it away over there, move it to D1. But I won't put inside that bag, inside a bag. And then, most importantly here, before the stream ends, 15 seconds left. Gotta move on the drinks, the cherry lime, this kind of sugar-free stuff, coconut water, as well as this stuff. It's too heavy. And then now that I've taken it out, it's lighter, I can move the bag over here, and then finally we can go. So I gotta end the live stream now. See you tomorrow morning.